Da sier vi velkommen til Liberalistenes uke her på Eldorado igjen. Neste innslag en stor glede. Vi har nå besøk fra Vít Jedlička, som opprinnelig vært medlem i vårt søsterparti i Tsjekkia, og som vi har svært god kontakt med. Og han har i det siste opprettet verdens yngste nasjon, Liberland. Og jeg vil nå gå over til engelsk for å ønske han velkommen. Then I switch to English so that you can understand and everyone else can understand.
Okay.
And as I've told the Norwegian understanding public, that you are now the president of the newest nation on this earth, the president of Liberland. And we as a party, the capitalist party here in Norway, we wish to welcome you, and we look forward to hear your speech.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for a kind introduction. It's been a great pleasure to come here and to get your invitation. And you, as the Norwegians, were the first one to invite me. But you are definitely not the last ones. If you look in my calendar now, I have probably like 10 other countries to visit. And I think it's going to be pretty big when I stay for a week in the United States, and I will meet maybe some of the 7,000 of the citizens that apply from there. And I also hope to meet much more citizens maybe for the dinner from Norway, because there were all, 500 people who applied from Norway, out of which 100 meant it totally seriously. They even filled their CVs. So I don't know how many out of you actually apply for the citizenship. Let me quickly check. Maybe 4 or 5 people here. 5, 6, maybe 5. Yeah, I think that's very nice. But there are much more people. So it's a great thing that Liberland was able to unite like-minded people all around the world. And altogether we have 330,000 applications. That makes us, if we accepted everybody, a country larger than Iceland. And consider that we were created just about, it's 50 days now. How the project might look like by the end of this year if we do our job properly and we are able to articulate the ideas of liberty. And I think I'm on really right spot when I see the picture of Frederick Bastiat there on that board, which is great. He was probably the first guy who totally changed my mind about the state, and his book Law deeply affected me. And I think, we have this law that state should not interfere in education in any way in Liberland. But I wish that everybody could read this book called Law when he was 13, like I was when I first read the book. And I was lucky that this book was translated to Czech and I could read without any problem. But if somebody asks me what Liberland is based on, then I can tell you those are 2 books. First one is the book Law by Frederick Bastiat, and another one is by Murray Rothbard, Anatomy of State. I mean, these 2 guys were able to explain the concepts of liberty and state in such a clear message, in so little actually pages, that everybody is able to understand it. And these 2 books should be supported because they changed my idea how should I perceive state, and I think they're able to change the way how lots of other people perceive the state in a way that should be perceived. It is a coercive institution which takes money from people. It is basically a gang of people who take the money on an obligatory basis from the people. And that's why I set up Liberland. I said, okay, let's do it the other way. Let's do taxes voluntary. Let's only fundraise to the thing that the people really want. Let's just make sure that the state takes care of security and justice and also a little bit of diplomacy, which is necessary. But these 3 things should be the basic roles of state. As I perceive them, these are the things that Thomas Jefferson and other founders of the United States perceived as the crucial things for the country, and that's the limit. That's the way that the government should have been run in the United States for not only 200 years, but even until now, you know. But when we look at the United States nowadays, the state takes around 40% of what people make, and maybe when you look at Norway, it's much more than that. It's probably like something like 50% or so. So this how many is it actually? So well, that depends on how you look at it. But my flag. But anyway. There is this great mission, let's get state reduced. And everybody kept telling me, you know, that I should set up my own state to prove that the ideas of liberty work, and I took their words seriously. I looked for the place where the state could be set up. It's pretty easy, you just look on Wikipedia and to take a look at the term terra nullius, and then you pick a spot. And it's also great that we inspired so many other new states to do the same. So we've got the state of Enclava, we've got some other new states, and I think it's much better to have smaller states all around the world than to have one big world government, which is the notion lately. If you take a look at the European Union and what the people say about it, that this is just like a beta version of a world government which should be imposed sooner or later. And we have to face that there are these strong moves toward this unification, towards this, monopolizing of political power on this planet. And it's already happening, and we can face it with something positive, you know. And it's great that I received so much media attention. It's probably true that I was most interviewed president in last month. You know, I don't think that Barack Obama got to do so many interviews as I got to do. I did probably like 200 of them, and I didn't sleep for the first 14 days because there was so many things to do, including these interviews, that there was no time for sleep. My first lady can, you know, tell you that is the case. What is Liberland about again? You know, we told, and we wanted to make a really short story about this, that we don't accept any neo-Nazis, any communists. We put sort of line between them because it's very important. Somebody calls them left-wing or right-wing extremists. We have to realize that both these ideologies are quite similar. There are only small differences between them. And that's what we did, you know. We said in the press statement that we are not accepting either communists or neo-Nazis. So it's very hard to label us a neo-Nazi, as you know, sometimes happen with the libertarians. You know, they call us, yes, you are the right-wing extremist. And that's the one thing that we did. Then we also got rid of the problem of religious intolerance. We said we are not taking anybody who is not willing to accept other religious beliefs, which anyway, you know, then again, that's very good for not only for our country, but that's very good for how the world perceives us, that we are not a state for some religious extremists, we are not taking guys from Islamic State or so. And, you know, also the secret agencies, you know, I think are grateful for that we already said that. So, how serious are we about this thing? You know, we are pretty serious. I sent notes to already like 1/3 of the states around the world where we ask for recognition. And I did a very good step when I decided to put this questionnaire to our citizens. And one of the questions is, do you have diplomatic ties in your own country? Can you help us with the diplomacy? And you should see the list and all the notes that the people wrote there. Yes, you know, I go to golf with the president of Liberia. And just, you know, call me and we'll set up something, you know. And the list is crazy long. I didn't even get to go through all these ties that our citizens have. And I think at the moment there is basically nothing that could stop us from getting a recognition from one country in a very short term. I think we will find one brave man who will be able to write us back, you know, I love your idea, it's great, let's get this started. And what I also said to the media, that I will grant Ministry of Foreign Affairs to whoever gets the recognition first, which it might be a good deal for somebody who is running a small country like Nauru. Then he becomes, from being president of Nauru, he also becomes a minister of finance in Liberland. And you know, it might sound unbelievable, but the amount of money which people put in the line, investment and in donation, is pretty high. So if we add up everything in the donations, it might be like $8 million by now, and if we add up everything in investment, it might be like $20 billion. So you can imagine that we are able to build skyscrapers with that money, probably more than we could fit in there. It could be the highest buildings on Earth if we really put all this money there. And I'm just reminding you, it's only 50 days since we started the project. So what I have done to make it possible so that all this money can go to this area in short term, because these people are serious, we have their telephone numbers. There are even very rich people from Norway who want to participate on this project, who I've been able to contact directly. And I've been calling them this morning, so I could meet them maybe tomorrow, because I'm here until tomorrow evening. You know, I decided that we were going to do something brand new, which was not also used. We are going to issue shares for whatever property the Liberland will need. And we will be able to make shareholders of you, if you want to participate on Liberland, you will be able to buy shares of whatever property is needed. So we will start with the land around Liberland, which might be also good investment. Whenever Liberland is established, the price of the land around Liberland will rise astronomically. Now we also need more boats, because I don't know if you have heard that, but the Croatia police, despite the fact that they let me in when I was there 50 days ago, they let me in without any problem. I went there with my car. I came out with my car there. I put the flag there. And now what happened, they totally blocked the area from all sides. Not only from Croatia's side, but also from Serbia's side. So when I tried to enter there from Croatia, I didn't even try to get to there. I just went to the borders. They came from Liberland. They tried to put me to Liberland in order to make me cross the borders, and then they fined me for crossing from Croatia to Serbia, despite the fact that we have a paper from Serbian government which says this is not their territory. It was official paper which the Serbia sent us like week after the Liberland was established. They said, we don't mind Liberland being created. We don't mind that, but we don't take that seriously. But it's very important. They said that it is not their property. And after that, when I tried to cross from Croatia to Liberland, we decided let's go from the Serbia side. It should be fine. These are international waters. But what happened? They basically issued us fine for crossing from Serbia to Serbia, which is quite strange, isn't it? Well, I'm really wondering what the court at the next level will do about this, because they sort of say this is disputed area. It's not. Both of these countries never claimed the land. After the split of Yugoslavia, Croatia always said, this is not their property, this is Serbia's. And the Serbia always said, no, we don't want that. So after those 24 years, I come there, plant the flag. According to many researchers, this was a truly terra nullius for 24 years at least. And when you look now at the Google Maps, it writes Yugoslavia and blocked, But when you type in Liberland, it zooms to this area. So it's quite nice from the Google Maps that they support our project from very beginning. And also, when you type in Liberland, you can try it. It shows our embassy in Prague. It's also nice that they recognized our embassy so fast. Anyway. So what we need to do actually is to buy more property around the area to show that we are very serious about this, to buy more boats so we can put them around this island, which I don't know if you have seen the picture. By the way, it's a very nice piece of property. It's like 300 meters long, sandy beaches, lots of trees. The Nunamba River is pretty clear there. It's almost like Caribbean basically, and we want to put these boats there to make a permanent settlement there, because now it's pretty hard for our guys to go there. They go there like scouts and ex-military people who just go there at night, put the flag there. They make a little bit fun with the police, and then they, go back to Serbia. So we are sort of enjoying this heat and seek game with the Croatia police. But what we need to do is to have a real permanent settlement there for long, and that can be achieved with putting boats around this island. The boats will be in territorial waters of Liberland, and the Croatia police will be totally unable to get us there because these are considered international waters, and they didn't touch us until we landed the boat on the island. They couldn't. There is no way how they could catch us. So we need more boats. We need more property, and we need to make a biggest fun park in Europe there by the end of summer. Now I think there are like more than 100 of people came there for this weekend party, and I need a lot of people there who will have fun. So we will have podiums there, concerts. We will have all these fun stuff for like water scooters, like flyboards. Do you know flyboard? Who knows flyboard anyway? Flyboard. It's a cool thing which you can fly on. You attach it to your jet ski, or what is it? And then you can fly like 10 meters, and it will be a lot of fun when the police sees that. And our strategy is to go there every single Saturday and invite these police for the party at Liberland. Give them beer, give them flowers. Guys, we know you have this mission to not let us in our promised land, but we are making party there this Saturday again, and you're invited. So what's the deal? Let's just come with us. Stop harassing us here, and let's go with us. And that's one strategy we are going to do. And the other strategy that we are going to take is that we will take people with diplomatic passports. We will take those guys that cannot be stopped by police anyway. And one of these guys is here with me in Norway. We flew together. He is Tomáš Zdechovský, who is a member of European Parliament, who got his black passport and who will go there next week. And I'm really wondering what the Croatia police will do about it. So we will, send this to the media that we have these diplomats who are going to plant a flag there on Liberland again, and we will see how the Croatia reacts. And it's important to show that these people are not only virtual, they exist in the real world, and they are able to make action. And we also want to have people, fun. Why not? Why not create there this aqua park, which could have all these things that people can enjoy during the summer. I love water, I love these fun things, I love sandy beaches, the weather is great. So you're all invited for the party to Liberland. It takes place every Friday and Saturday, and there are many people that will stay there for long. There are going to be tents, there are going to be people who take care of the accommodation. We already rented number of houses around the area. So why not? If you don't know where to go for summer vacation, then Liberland is the place to go. And so we need to basically use all the means how to get this ready. That means investment, that means diplomacy, that means action on the spot. And when these three things are combined, I truly believe that we are able to achieve sort of independence and prosperity, or we are able to enter the area of Liberland and start doing things there, real things, by the end of summer. I really believe that thing is achievable when we have all this support from our citizens. This is a force which cannot be stopped. What really makes up a nation? Those are people who share a common belief. And we were able to unify all the people that believe that the state should be limited, that there should be severe restrictions on what the politicians can do. And this is what creates a nation, exactly. It's a common belief for something, and it's exactly it. The states are falling apart because the people lose faith in the country. Take a look at Ukraine. The people just many people lost faith that there is anything good about their government at all. They just thought, it's so corrupt, it's wasting our money all the time. Why should we ever go and support it. And they somehow think that maybe Russia will be better or something. But they just lost the common belief which makes the country. And we do have these people that have this very strong notion, this very strong belief that the government should be limited. And then we have population, according to Montevideo Conventions. We have common belief. We have a place which was dedicated for Liberland. And then we need just international recognition to finish this thing. And I think it is achievable within a couple of weeks, I think. So we are all set, and we are about to do something historic. For 120 years, the country was not set up in this way, and we can do this now if we join together and make it happen. So there are many ways, if you wanted to participate, which you can choose to participate, or the ways you can contribute to the project. You can go there on the spot. You can help us with the diplomatic mission. You can help us finance the thing. Or you can be part of our IT team or legal team. There are all sorts of these bureaucratic, things that we have to fulfill. And our mission is to make the bureaucratic body as small as possible. That is our basic mission, and I think we are doing just right in that. But we are also in the need of finding the minimum amount of regulation necessary for the state to be created and to live. And that is a lot of regulation already. Even if we don't join the EU, if we don't join United Nations, there is still so much obligatory things which need to be looked at to be able to be able to put this country to a position which will be acceptable by other countries. We will probably have to accept Basel III regulation on a banking sector. Otherwise, our banks could not do the business with other banks. But we might find some way around it. We've got the guys who are looking into this already for 3 weeks, and we found some ways how we could go around it. So to show the world that we are, able to comply with the Basel rules, but at the same time allow banks not to comply with them. So we need smart people to get this done. We need people who are able to get things done. It's most important things. I already been in contact with many people who said, I will do this, I will do that. It's not a problem, but then nothing materialized for a month. And I need them in my close vicinity so I can cooperate with them. And I have my assistant here, Christina, which will be able to give you my contacts. You can contact me in any way. She will give you my phone and my email address, and she will be taking care of my emails from now on because I cannot handle it anymore. It takes one full-time job, but you will be able to talk to her, and if there is something which is necessary, then she will forward it to me, and I will handle that. So again, I appreciate that it was Norway which was first, because I love the country for the reason that it didn't join the EU, that you had the courage to say twice no to the European integration. And I'm also grateful because we want to become part of EFTA. That's one thing that we would like to, in a little bit reduced way, but EFTA is close to what we really would like to join with Liberland. So that's also very important that you are probably the biggest member of European Free Trade Agreement, which I'm going to visit the central of Switzerland, and then after that I go to see the headquarters of EFTA, and I could already gain some support from Norway. And I wish you good luck with your fight here for more liberty and more independence here in Norway. I hope you will be able to find more partners, not only within your group, but also with other political parties. And I find it great that you have been able to set up this very strict and very dedicated party to the cause of liberty. And I thank you for inviting me, and I will be able to take a couple of questions if you would like.
Thank you very much. This was a very nice speech. Er det noen som har spørsmål?
Hello. You said that you wouldn't accept religious causes in your country, but wouldn't it be easier to get international recognition if you said that you had some religious ties to the land, that your profit was from there?
Oh, well.
Kind of like Palestine?
No, we accept all the religions, that's very important, but we don't accept people who are religiously intolerant. And that's our basic point. And we've been contacted by these religious organizations and non-religious organizations and non-official and semi-secret organizations already. We need to find support from all of them for this. You know, we probably know that the United States were founded by Freemasons. You know, this is also very important for us that we do have support of organizations even like that, and we know that they sort of share our beliefs. You know, founding fathers of the United States did a great job, which lasted for 200 years. You know, I think, you know, if you have read our Constitution, then you see that we took the best parts of American Constitution, Swiss Constitution, some parts of Estonian Constitution. We put that together and we add up like half of our stuff, which we thought was necessary, like banning government directly for doing any legislation on healthcare, on public education, on marriage, for example, which I find very important, that the government will not be able to legislate on whether you are able to marry same-sex partner or non-same. I don't think that's any business of government at all. There is so much useless discussion about it nowadays in the world. You know, should the gays be granted special rights, or, you know, should the marriage be granted special rights? Should we support that group or that group? Why the hell is government taking any care of that? It's none of their business in the first place. So we added up all these fields that we said no laws at all on this subject, and I think it's the best way how to do it. You know, the government in Liberland will probably be constituted of 20 people who will be elected in general elections. That is the draft of the constitution. There will be no president after the first general election takes place, so there will be nobody to replace me in this mission. And these guys will have very little to do. I think that they would be fine with this one building, which is there. I don't know if you've seen the pictures, but the building is now in ruins a little bit. But I think when we fix it up, and I wish I could show you the visualization of that, but you will be able to see it on our website. There are very nice visualizations on how the building could look like. This building, I think, could be the future parliament of Liberland. You know, these 20 people who will be elected could fit in there very nicely. There will be other 3 rooms, where in one there will be a head of police, in another room there will be this citizenship application process, and in the third room there will be probably this administrative place where the judge will sit and will take decisions. And I think we are able to fit all that into this small building, which is there already in Liberland and which is abandoned now for some 30 years. So I hope I answered your question. Not really, but let's try to go look at it again. Or did I answer your question? One of the first things we got was a saying by Vatican that they don't have any interest in that land, which I think is very important as well. And I don't think it would be easier. I think it would actually complicate our things, because then we would have problems with other religions. And why should we do that? You know, I don't think. You know, we basically now have support from all the religious groups, and I think it's great. You know, even this is all informal meetings, but I can see that we basically do have this support from all around. And why should we stick with one group or another when it wouldn't make sense for me anyway? You know, I'm not atheist, but I also don't consider myself to be member of any religious group. And I've been very close to many religious movements, all my life, as you can see the list there. Well, Christianity, you know, I studied at Christian school. I studied at Baha'i school. I know people with ties to Scientology. I basically, you know, even many people who are Buddhists and Muslim, you know, I have lots of friends in all these denominations, and I don't see any reason why should I stick with any one of these to put the idea of Liberland forward. So for me, is that is very important that we separate it, or that the state is separated from religious things. So I hope that answers your question.
Mr. President,
Yes.
will the powers that be in the end accept the new country of Liberland? And if not, how long do you expect the project to go on before it's stopped?
I don't think there is anything that could stop the project, actually. And I think that many of the powers that be are quite keen on it as well. And as I can tell you, you know, the money powers that be that I cannot talk about, they were the first ones to contacted us, and they showed great interest in the project. And they're still sort of helping us in ways. So there is this great interest from all sorts powers that be in the project, and they sort of love the project. Why not? Why shouldn't we let these guys operate in this swamp, as somebody calls the place? It's 7 kilometers square. It's 3 times larger than Monaco. Nobody was living there for 24 years. No citizens. There are many. Wild pigs there. They're running there all around. There are many other like deers running around. So why not? Why not let these guys take this place and let them live there? You know, let live and let live. That's our motto, and that's the great thing about our project. That there is basically nobody who could do us a harm. Because no matter what the people do, if they fight it or if they ignore it, if they help it, they're all helping it. You know, by fighting Liberland, you are helping it. You get more people interested in the project, more people getting together on the other side. And whenever somebody attacks us, we always get more people who don't join the project. You know, it's so now when I got arrested, like everybody else said, it's over, you know, the project is over. But they should see how the court was and how the police was talking to me. You know, they really wanted to buy a flag from me. Like these police guys. And I told them, you know, it's great, guys, you know, we will be able to work in Liberland someday. Yeah, it's great, you know, our pay is not that high here, why not, you know. And then I went to the judge. He told me, you know, my kids tried to reach Liberland a week before you did, and they were stopped by the police. So it's pretty crazy, you know, there is a great support for Liberland in both Serbia and Croatia. When I go to the main square in Croatia, everybody recognizes me basically. And the kids like run to me and they take picture with me. You know, they are like, yeah, you're the president of Liberland. Maybe I'm more known as a politician than many of the members of the parliament in Croatia now, in just like 3 weeks, because I was all around the media. And the most funny thing is that even the Croatia state police is supportive. Do you know that actually when I got arrested twice, the guy from Croatia State TV was arrested with me? You know, it's like, you couldn't believe it. I mean, like the Czech state television was last medium to inform about the creation of Liberland, but the Croatia state television is with us from very beginning, and they're like supportive. So I think it's great that we don't have anybody who could stop us at the moment. There is no force that could do it. It's just a question of time when this project gets finished. And the other thing is it might be much larger than just Liberland. You know, having 7 kilometers square over free land. Yeah, this is good actually. Thanks, say like this. Don't worry about it. Over free land is great, you know, but the idea of turning the whole world into Liberland I think is much greater. And when I hear all these places where there is no libertarian party, And we now have these citizens who are interested in liberty, and they are like, yeah, let's start our Liberland party in Croatia, for example, because there is no libertarian party in Croatia. Why not? Why not? Why not get those people who apply for the citizenship? Why not get them organized and start a country which will press for recognition of Liberland? So there is this other aspect. Okay, like around half of the people who apply for the citizenship out of the 330,000 are from Middle East and from Egypt and elsewhere. And the question is, what do we do with them? I can understand that they don't feel very comfortable in their own countries. In Turkey, there might be some pressure on from the government. They don't allow Twitter and Facebook now. And in Egypt, you have all these military takeovers. But why not help these people also to get a little bit more organized and to help them turn their government into something a little bit more humane and sensitive, And yes, we have 80,000 people from Egypt who are able to fulfill English form. They are not stupid guys. They are guys who own television there on the list of citizens. And I have to be very sensitive not to piss off powers that be, but we can push for political change not only in Liberland itself, but we can make the project much larger. And you should also see the list of the citizens from United States. If we sort them into categories, then you find out there are peoples of tremendous influence, and they even come from the political background now. So it's not only this libertarian movement. Now there are people who wouldn't join some libertarian party, who are very influential, who just love the idea of creating another tax haven, but I would rather say heaven. It's somebody, it's very important, to me this thing works in English and in Czech as well. Because in Czech we say tax heaven, we don't say tax haven. Somebody just probably misinterpreted it, and from that on, it's used like that. And everybody, tells me, you are the evil guy who wants to create this tax heaven. And I say, yeah, you are the supporter of tax hell. I can understand your position that you don't like another tax hell, that you would like to create another tax hell, And then I explain all this, and it's pretty hard, for example, to do any sort of discussion with me on the Czech media. Even all these social democrats are like running away from me. So anyway, any other question? Yes?
How many people do you think Liberland could support, in terms of inhabitants?
Well, this is one of the most common questions, among with, do you mind having mosquitoes on the land, or how tall buildings do you think you can build, and stuff like that. I don't think that is the question that we should be solving today. The question is, how fast are we able to put their people on permanent basis? How fast are we going to get the first recognition by country? And I think we can fit around 1 billion people if we use the technology which is now available, but I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think it's a good idea. I would rather turn the rest of the world into Liberland, not to have to accommodate the whole planet in that small place, if you can understand my point.
I have two questions.
Yes.
The first one is that the island of Liberland, it looks cultivated. Looks like somebody lives there or
Nobody lives
harvests
there.
the land.
Nobody lives there, and the land was, the last record of the ownership of the land lies with the cadastral maps of Serbia, and it was a state property. But the Croatia started to sort of take care of the trees there some 2 or 3 years ago. But they never claimed ownership of the land. They never claimed politically the land. That is very important. They just started to cut trees there. And we need to make some sort of deal about that they can, remove the trees that they cut and stuff like that. And we might have to compensate them for maybe some cultivation that they did there. But I don't think it's a deal right now. And there is nobody living there. This house is abandoned for 30 years now. So yes, there has been done some cultivation of the trees, but that's the only economic activity that was going on in there.
And the second question is, in my view, the biggest obstacle for official recognition of Liberland is the unsolved situation with Croatia. So what is the official strategy to settle this situation?
Official strategy is to send diplomats there next week who will plant another flag there after the Croatia police took the first one. And then make a party and then do a tour around the world to get our citizens organized to press for recognition in their own countries. If you want to be ambassador of Norway, it's very easy. Just get us recognized in Norway. So it's not a hard task, is it? Do you have somebody of you have friends in government here? Oh, see, you can be the first ambassador to Liberland in Norway, an official one, because whenever the country recognizes us, then you are granted the ambassadorship as well. So I'm not promising you anything which I couldn't fulfill. And I hope I answered your question then.
Flere spørsmål?
Oh, it seems like there are no more questions. Anyone?
If someone hypothetically started to build houses on the land,
Yes.
then you will say as president that they own the buildings.
Pardon?
If I, for example, built a house
Mhm.
in Liberland,
Mhm.
then I own the house, and I can hypothetically do that now.
Well, all the land is now state-owned. We only did one deal with the Swiss guys yet, who were the first there and who claimed part of Liberty Island. And we are in negotiation with them now. How should we go around that? And we will be very supportive of everybody who goes there and helps us settle the land in the first place. So we will make a deal with them as a government in some sort of organized way. But we already have cadastral maps on internet. So you can come with us, negotiate, what we will do for Liberland, and we will be able to maybe sell you this piece of land for some very small money compared to the prices that there will be after the land is officially recognized. But this is just a matter of negotiation for now. But we don't do the homesteading principle. We decided not to do that. We decided that we will go with one personal sort of approach to everybody who would like to claim some pieces of land for now.
Okay, and another question: since there will be no central bank in Liberland,
Yes.
then there will of course be possible to use whatever currency that you like.
Yes.
And this may be a good opportunity to use cryptocurrencies
Yes.
as a country.
Yes, that's true. And we are accepting already bitcoins. So, the Swiss company which I was talking about, which is very supportive, which put up the tent there, whatever, like week after I started the country, or with all the guys, like, making fun with the Croatia police. They are taking care of our bitcoins. They are the owners of biggest Bitcoin bank in the world. They operate from Switzerland. And I said we are not going to put together state and currency as well as state and religion. We will keep these things separately. But I'm not telling anybody that he or she couldn't start his own currency in whatever name, And I already have these nice coins, the gold coins, which are in print now with my face on it, and also with Mises and Hayek, and the basic unit is 1 Vít. That's my first name, so it's very nice. And I'm waiting when that gold coin, which is 1 ounce or half ounce of gold, will actually be there. I hope it will come to me by post maybe next month. So I'm not stopping anybody from making a sort of Liberland currency. There can be a totally free competition, but it would probably be backed by some real tangible assets. And another thing is, and I think it's the most important thing about this, is this crowdfunding solution that we developed, that we will, as I said, we moved all our operation to Hong Kong. We will operate from there from next week on. We are totally leaving Europe with all our businesses and everything for this project. And we will do this crowdfunding solution, which will look like Kickstarter, for example, that everybody will be able to put up their ideas on what the Liberland should do next. You know, there will be somebody who would put some projects forward, and there will be, of course, presidential office that needs to run on something. There will be maybe my assistant and stuff like that, but people will be able to fundraise for it. But there will be also these projects that I already mentioned, you know, that things that people can invest in, they can co-invest with the state. And we will use cryptocurrency as a mean to issue shares. There is this way how you can do a very good share issuance using cryptocurrency. And we because we have these guys from Trezor, maybe you know the company from Prague, which takes care of bitcoins as well. They are with us. I have their leader of their programming team working also for Liberland. So we came up with this good solution, good technological solution, how we can issue shares for whatever property there needs to be issued. So it can be boats, and everybody will be able to have his name or her name on the boat, depending on the share of the boat or of the car or of anything they will buy, you know. So if you will co-finance boat, then you will be probably able to enjoy some dividends out of it if it's going to be state property, or you will be able to enjoy the rise or fall of the value. And you will be also able to trade these shares totally openly on our website. And this everything will be taken care of by this investment company operating now from Hong Kong. Of course, it will start operate from Liberland as soon as it will be possible. But actually, you know, like everybody says, the idea of Liberland is quite crazy. This is how Hong Kong operates today. You know, we are not creating something totally brand new. When we went to Hong Kong and we said we want to establish this new company there, they told us, oh, no problem. And normally there are some small percentage paid by donations. In Hong Kong, you have to pay some small tax. But you can negotiate with these guys and tell them, hey, listen, you know, we want to really create this country there. And they tell us, okay, you don't pay any taxes from donations as well. So that's great that the Hong Kong government is supportive for that. And no taxes on whatsoever. And you can already set up your company, which can operate in Norway, paying no taxes whatsoever. And it costs like 3,000 euro a year, which is not too bad. And, you know, it will be much cheaper in Liberland anyway, so I have to, you know, push for my project. I think it will be like 1,000 euro in Liberland, so we will. And we have already this company that will be able to register the companies. They already have some experience with that. Anyway, so if there are no more questions, then, okay, one more, then let's do the last question then.
Yeah, here in Norway, most people speak English quite well. But for example, in Germany, a big percentage doesn't speak English quite so well. But in Liberland, what kind of language will be like the main language?
I think it's English, and I think there are many people in German who speak English. And my friends, for example, who are from German, they also speak English to one another. So I don't think there is, you know, we will sort of unite everybody who loves freedom, but everybody who loves freedom and knows English probably also this other aspect, so we can communicate there in Liberland. But there are so many people who fulfill that criteria nowadays. And even the people who would like to participate and don't speak, you know, we already translated the website to 4 languages. And you should see how the crowd translation project works. We could actually publish the site now some other 30 languages or 20 languages. My first lady took care of the translation project for some time, and it's so funny when you put up this Google Doc thing and you send it to our Facebook page and you say, okay guys, we need to get it translated to Croatia and Serbia, and it's this Google Doc sheet, and you put it there, and in like 15 minutes you have like 10 other languages done for the whole website. There are like 200 terms that needs to be translated, and you got Chinese, Spanish, Latino, everything done. It's so funny when we use these technologies to get things done which would be otherwise absolutely impossible to achieve, and when we have all these volunteers who are willing to help with that. So we only need to use proper technologies and proper people who can organize that, and we can achieve lots of things. I, for example, was able to translate this anatomy of state into Croatia and Serbia in like 1 day, and I wanted to publish it on our website, but then my political advisor said, we cannot put educational stuff on Liberland website. We are serious about creating state. But I was able to make an e-book version of these books also within like 14 hours, not to only get it translated into 2 languages. So these things, the movements there, like they sort of pre-arranged it, but when you know the right people and you use the right technology, then so many things are achievable in so short time, it's unbelievable. All right, so thank you again for inviting me, and I'm inviting you for the dinner at 6 o'clock, which will be held, I don't know, Oliva, is it the restaurant?
Oliva. Aker Brygge, Olivia.
Aker Brygge, where we can discuss more about your involvement in the project. There are like 20 places reserved for the dinner, and I will be happy to meet you if you are going to stay here any longer, and then I'm not going to take any more time, and I hope to hear some other lectures. Maybe it will be a little bit in English, or if it not, I will get somebody translate it for me.
Okay, thank you very much for your speech on behalf of Liberalistene.
Okay.
And I just want to say in English to you that our highest council, the yearly meeting, has said that it supports your project, and we are totally supporting your project. And even though we don't have the power to do it officially yet, we will try our best to help you.
Well, this is great thing that you are actually the first sort of party who said that. But now we have the Swiss party who also, it's similar like yours, but who also pushes for it. We have party from Spain, which pushes also party from France. So we've got now these smaller parties that work for the recognition of Liberland all around the world, and that's great, really. And again, thank you for supporting us.
Thank you very much.